Hello students. Now after solubility we will start new topic, that is the optical activity. This is very important topic. It carries marks, that means the weightage of this part is quite high, and definitely there is a question on this. Till the date weightage is not decided, but in the last syllabus 2 marks weightage is for the optical activity and optical isomers. So this is very important. Sometimes in the previous papers 4 marks question was also on this, but now according to new syllabus, when we will come to know what is the weightage, I will let you know. Okay, so what is optical activity? Up till now we know the optics in your physics part, that is the optics is related to lens. Okay, here it is also the lens sort of prism we used. Okay, when any light passes through the lens, then we get Vibgyor. All of you know that. But in our chemistry, if such a light beam is there and sometimes a triangular prism is formed, which is known as the Nicol prism. In the last syllabus, the in detail Nicol prisms information is given, but in new syllabus it is not there. So don't worry about it. Only remember this is the Nicol prism. Then see, these lights are passing, the waves are passing in all the directions. But when this is passes through this Nicol prism, when it come out, they are having just one plane. They are only in the one direction. So this is known as plane polarized light. This is known as plane polarized light, and short form is PPL. Short form is PPL, plane polarized light. So the definition of plane polarized light is light having oscillations. These are oscillations when they are only in one plane, like this, only in one plane, perpendicular to the direction of propagation. This is the direction of propagation and this is perpendicular to this. So this is known as direction of propagation of light, is known as plane polarized light. I am going to repeat it again. Light having oscillations only in one plane, perpendicular to the direction of propagation. See, this is the direction of propagation and these are perpendicular to this. Then it is known as plane polarized light. Okay, this is the thing. Next very important thing which we are going to study in details, and that is known as optical activity. That is known as optical activity. Now I am going to explain is what is optical activity. Up till now we studied this is the light beam. When it is passes through Nicol prism, then it comes out, that is oscillations are in a plane perpendicular to the direction of propagation, means they are in only one plane, that is known as plane polarized light. But next to it, now this is the chemistry part is now going to start. Okay, actually this is the sort of machine which you can study in photometry, colorimetry and all those things. You can Google for this. You have to now here on the paper you have to imagine what it will be or how it looks like. Okay, but you Google it, you will come to know exactly what is sort of machinery and what sort of things are going to happen and how we get this thing. Okay, so now if this plane polarized light, that is PPL, passes through some sort of solutions of what, like 2-chlorobutane or sugar solution or lactic acid, then there are two different type of planes. Okay, but now this one is the normal one. Sometimes it gives you clockwise rotation. It gives you clockwise rotation. When it is clockwise rotation, then this is known as dextrorotatory. This is known as dextrorotatory. Or it gives anti-clockwise direction. This plane polarized gives anti-clockwise direction. Then this looks like this, and this is known as levorotatory. See, when it rotates clockwise, Then this is dextrorotatory, short form abbreviation is the D, or you can say plus sign. When it is anti-clockwise, it will look like this, anti-clockwise, and this is known as levorotatory, and abbreviation is L or negative sign. Okay, and so we can explain it like this optical activity. When light beam passes through Nicol prism, then the Nicol prism has the capacity to rotate the simple light beam into plane polarized light is the optical activity. And when plane polarized light is passed through a solution like lactic acid or 2-chlorobutane, then the plane of the plane polarized light is rotated. If it rotated clockwise, it is called dextrorotatory, or if it is rotated anti-clockwise, then it is known as levorotatory. Okay, this is the part of imagination. Please try to understand. Google search is important on this. Okay, so you can understand how is the machine, how the light passes through it, then how the solution we can use and why specific this solution we use, and then we get clockwise rotation and anti-clockwise rotation. Clockwise rotation is known as dextrorotation, while anti-clockwise rotation is known as levorotation, and the material which gives us clockwise rotation, that is known as dextrorotatory, and the material means the chemical, and which gives us anti-clockwise, it is known as levorotatory. Okay, clockwise rotation as well as anti-clockwise rotation. Next, now we will see why we use this 2-chlorobutane and the lactic acid over there. This is our 2-chlorobutane. This is our 2-chlorobutane. What is that? One carbon, one chlorine is attached, CH3, one group is attached, H and C2H5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is butane. At the second carbon atom there is a chlorine. So this is the structure of 2-chlorobutane. While lactic acid, this is CH3, C, COH, OH and H. This is known as lactic acid. Okay. Now see, these are very particular compounds. Can you see the similarity in between these two? See now, one carbon is here, one carbon is here. Around this carbon there are 4 different groups or atoms. CH3, C2H5 are the groups, while chlorine and H are the atoms. Total 4 are different, they are not similar. There are no 2H, or there are no 2Cl, or there are no 2CH3, or there are no 2C2H5. All 4 are different. Similarly here, all 4 are different. And the important thing is that when we are going to keep mirror in front of this compound, and we will get mirror image. This is again the imagination. This is the mirror we have shown over here. This is in between. Then we get 2 images. We know that when we are going to stand in front of mirror, you are the one and the another one is in the mirror. Same like this. But now here, this is, suppose in front of mirror this compound is the dextrorotatory. Suppose this is a dextrorotatory, then the image is levorotatory. Okay, dextro, then this is leo. If it is leo, then this is dextro. Both are not same. So this is mentioning as D2-chlorobutane, and this is mentioning as L2-chlorobutane. Similarly here, this is D-lactic acid and this is known as L-lactic acid, and such a property is called optical activity. Such a property is called optical activity. Okay, so now what is dextroform? The optical active compound which rotated plane of the plane polarized light to the clockwise direction is called dextrorotatory. It is denoted by D or plus sign. Leoform, the optical active compound which rotates the plane of the plane polarized light to the anti-clockwise direction, it is called levorotatory. And what is optical isomerism? means D and L. Isomerism, in which isomeric compounds have different optical activity, is known as optical isomer. Means one isomer rotates clockwise while another isomer rotates anti-clockwise. So this is D and L. Now we will see some important definitions based on this optical activity. First one is asymmetric or chiral carbon atom. Now what is this asymmetric or chiral carbon atom? Now here we will see this 2-chlorobutane. All 4 atom groups or atoms are different. I had shown here again that 2-chlorobutane. Okay. See now, here it is, I had shown 3D picture or 3D presentation of 2-chlorobutane. What is that? These 2 bonds are in one plane. We studied this in the 11th standard when I had shown you the bonds, how to show the bonds in front of the plane, behind the plane, on the plane with the tetrahedral geometry, same like that. Now these plane bonds are in one plane, while this dotted line means this bond goes behind the plane, and this box line comes out of the plane, means it is in front of the plane. Okay. Then this carbon atom is denoted by asterisk, denoted by this star called as asterisk. See, here it is the asterisk. Then a carbon atom which is attached to 4 different atoms or groups of atoms is called asymmetric or chiral carbon atom. So this our carbon is asymmetric or chiral carbon atom. See now here, this carbon, all 4 groups are different, so this is asymmetric or chiral carbon atom. Chiral carbon atom, and we have to show it by asterisk as a star like this, it is called asterisk. Okay, so these are the chiral carbon atom. Okay, now one more example, we can take all 4 different our halogens around the carbon like this. Okay, like this, and then this carbon is also called asymmetric carbon atom because all atoms are different. This is carbon. Now we can say according to our alphabetical order, then this is bromo, then chloro, then fluoro, iodo, and this is methane, because this is one carbon, and this is also asymmetric carbon atom or chiral carbon atom. Just for curiosity, I am showing this thing. Actually in our book they had shown one H over there, and then they are showing the dotted lines and block lines over. Okay, then this is all for asymmetric carbon atom. Next is enantiomers. Now here we studied, this is our 2-chlorobutane. Similarly, this is our 2-chlorobutane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2-chlorobutane, and on the second carbon there is the chlorine. So this is 2-chlorobutane. These are the optical isomers of each other. Okay, these are the optical isomers. This is a mirror in between. This is mirror in between these two, and these are called enantiomers. Why these are called enantiomers? Because this is the image of this, and if you are going to put this image on this, means like this, suppose these are the 2 images, and when you put this image on this, then see, this is non superimposable. My one thumb is here, while this image's thumb is here, means this bond is here. They are not superimposable like this, they are non superimposable. See here, this is my index finger, this is my little finger, so both are not same. This is my middle finger, this is my ring finger, both are not same, like this. So these are not superimposable, and when such a superimposable mirror images are there, then this is called enantiomers. This is called enantiomers, please remember. Then what is next? Next is racemic mixture. When you take equal amount of this Suppose this is dextro, then this is LiO. When you are going to take equal amount of dextro and LiO forms, optically active compound is called racemic mixture. It's called racemic mixture, and it denoted by DL or plus minus sign. This is the mixture, okay, and so this is known as racemic mixture. Then next one which we studied in 11th standard, that is the Fischer projection formula. This is nothing but representation of configuration of molecule, okay. So now suppose this is dot in between is our carbon, okay, and around this there are these 4 different elements. Then we can show 2 bonds in front of plane and 2 bonds behind the plane. So these bonds below the plane and these bonds above the plane, okay, these are below the plane while these are the above plane. This is known as Fischer projection formula. Same thing we can show in the Wedge formula also. Now what is Wedge formula? When tetrahedral carbon is drawn on the paper, then we cannot imagine the bond on the paper, so that the bonds in plane of paper represent by normal line, and the bonds projecting above the plane of the paper represented by solid wedges, while bonds going below the plane are represented by broken wedges. These are the broken wedges below the plane, and these are the solid wedges which are above the plane, and this is known as Wedge formula. This is known as Wedge formula. This is known as Fischer projection formula. Only the difference is that in the Fischer projection formula 2 are above, 2 are below, while in Wedge formula 2 are in a one plane. In the plane only one is behind the plane and one is above the plane, okay. So you have to go through all these new concepts, okay, which we didn't see in 11th standard. This is totally for your 12th standard, and which is very important. Read it twice, thrice, you can understand it very easily, and if you have any doubt, please ask me the question. So this is all about today's video. Next time we will start with chemical property.